All right, here we go. Welcome to the Saturday Morning Tailgate, everybody. Episode 7. I am Bryson Carver, joined by my good friends Tim Barnard and Arthur Hurst. Tim, you're doing the Gator Chomp. It has been a wild last 7 days for your program. How you feeling today, my man? Your mic's muted, Tim. It's a weekly tradition.
Weekly tradition. Well, no, I didn't do it last week.
True. That's fair enough.
How am I feeling? I can finally take a deep breath. That's how I'm feeling. You know, I mean, listen, I'm going to talk about this a little bit on Gator City later today, but Billy seemed like a genuine dude, seemed like a really good guy, and it sucks that he couldn't get us over the hump and, help us win. But what had to be done was done. And that makes me feel a little bit better. Now the hot pot is, who's gonna be the guy to help us go all the way again?
Well, that's gonna be the question I'm sure we broach throughout today's show. Arthur, your Buckeyes are number 1 in the country on a bye, right? Like it's same old stuff. How are you doing today on this Saturday?
I'm doing great, man. Watch a little college football and see who wants to be, behind us, going into next week's ranking. It's lovely. It's lovely. We deserve this bye. We've been whooping ass all season, so we deserve a little break.
It must be nice, man. It really must. Of course, I'm kind of in the middle ground. Like Tim's the struggling fan. I'm the heartbroken fan because of last week. We're in the playoff, and then Arthur his team is just rolling through everybody. Julian Sayed did ball out last week. He did ball out. All right, let's get into our topics today. So obviously, Billy Napier was fired on Sunday by the Florida Gators, which just adds to a long list of coaching moves. Colorado State moving on from their coach. We talked about Oklahoma State firing Mike Gundy last week. You talk about James Franklin being fired by Penn State. Now Billy Napier at Florida. I'll ask you, Tim. You're obviously the Gators fan. Of these potential jobs, which do you think is the most attractive, and why do you feel that way?
It's obviously my Gators. Like, there is no reason why the Florida Gators should not be the number 1 program in the country that coaches would leave their massive buyouts to go and be our head coach. Our 30-year history, actually 35-year history, is 3 national championships with Spurrier, Meyer, a team that goes to SEC championships. We're in the state where if you just recruited Florida, the state, you would have a national championship contender. I mean, some of our guys already, Dallas Wilson, Miles Graham, Vernell Brown, they're all Florida guys. Like, these are studs of players. And that's where I'm like, you know what? It's a program that, we've fallen on hard times since Urban Meyer left. And everyone in there, everyone wants to say, oh, the Florida fan base is toxic. They're toxic. No, we're not toxic. We've gotten a taste of winning under Spurrier, under Meyer. And all we want is to get back to the mountaintop. Who doesn't? And to say that, it's being, you're asking too much of your program. It's like, are we? I mean, I can speak for myself where, it's a 12-team playoff format. 12 teams. You're telling me the brand, the Florida Gators, this logo isn't good, shouldn't be good enough to be in the college football playoff, on a consistent basis? No, we are. This brand is recognizable throughout the world. So it's a 12-team format. We want to get back to winning. And I can speak for myself when I say that start should be to at least get in the college football playoff. And quite honestly, that's not a hard ask.
Not with Florida's resources, it's not a hard ask. And again, like there was a number of credible people in the college football media. It was like, oh yeah, Florida's a playoff team after they finished last year, beating LSU down the stretch and beating some of these other notable programs. Tim, I'm sure you're one of those people, like seeing the progression from DJ Lagway. Your thoughts on this, Arthur? Obviously, you're Ohio State fan, so you know a thing or two about big programs. Which of these, particularly Florida State, Penn State, and Oklahoma State's kind of on that second tier of teams we're talking about here. Which of those two do you think is the more attractive head coaching destination for potential candidates?
Any Florida school.
Mm.
Any Florida school, dog. Because it's Florida. Why would I not want to be in Florida majority of the year? Sunshine, beaches. Come on, man. It's Florida. Florida stay with that classic, iconic. Oh, I love it, man. I love it. The Gators with their chomp. You know what I'm saying? Any Florida school would be at the top of my list. You know, like it's not a question. See, that's hate by Tim, but what do you expect? You know, they still have
He's a bitter fan. He's a bitter fan, Arthur.
Yes. Okay. Understandably so. Okay. Again, you've been at the bottom for a very long time after being on the top. I get it. Okay. We've all been there. Sometimes you need to be humble. Sometimes you need to understand what the bottom feels like in order to work your way back up the top to make being at the top a little bit more. But yes, it's without a doubt. No, not Penn State. Y'all too cold. Okay. The whiteout is beautiful, but Pennsylvania gets cold. Hey, look, I'm the same way. If Ohio State were to have a vacancy, okay, we would easily be one of the top ones. But I would be like, dude, it's cold. I don't want to be here. Okay. I represent my Buckeyes any time of the day. I don't want to be in the cold. I want to be in Florida. So any of the Florida schools got to be at the top. Historic history. Both programs have champions. Both programs have Hall of Famers. They're iconic legacies in college football. It's a no-brainer to me. It's got to be a Florida school.
Yeah, I got to say, to your point about living in Florida, don't get me wrong. I love living here in Tennessee. I really do. The mountains are absolutely beautiful. Oh, I lived in Florida for 4 months and I miss it every day. So you are telling the truth, Arthur and Tim. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's awesome. But no, to your point, and Patrick is in the comments. He's a big Florida State fan. He says, "I wish my Seminoles would fire Mike Norvell, but 54.4 million reasons it likely will happen." Well, listen, Billy Napier, they were willing to go through his buyout. Did you ever start the GoFundMe page on the buyout, Tim? Did that ever come to fruition?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, I did. Okay. That's why we fired him, because
that's why
everyone saw my GoFundMe and they're like, "Yeah, absolutely, we need to do this."
It's courtesy of Tim Barnard of the Saturday Morning Tailgate. Kudos to you, my friend. And you, by the way, it's bad in the Billy Napier situation where, and again, for those that didn't see the ending last week against Mississippi State, it was one of the goofier endings that you will see in college football. But it's bad when you win a conference game at home and the fans are booing you off the field. That's when okay, it's over. Like it's time to cut bait and move on. So. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you guys. The resources Florida has, as you make a great point, Tim, that if you just recruited in that state with all of the talented, high school football programs, you're in great shape. You're in position to contend. And Billy Napier simply was just not able to get the most out of that talent. Maybe a future head coach would be. So shifting now, staying in the SEC, Alabama beating my Vols last week, and that didn't make me very happy at all. That was tough. The pick six, I pretty much fell to my knees. That was brutal. However, I did say coming into this game, the part that scared me the most was Ty Simpson, quarterback at Alabama, who I said was kind of like not a fringe Heisman candidate, but I thought was firmly in the discussion. As we get closer, you're going to start to see us talk more Heisman as we get down the stretch. But kid's got 18 touchdowns, 1 pick this season. Alabama's undefeated in the SEC. They're ranked back in the top 5. Arthur, you kind of said after that loss to Florida State, the Bama aura is gone, the Bama vibe is gone. They look pretty good now, but I would ask you, is Ty Simpson today, in your opinion, the front runner for the Heisman Trophy in 2025?
I believe so. I believe with how Bama has played these last few weeks, you got to give him that. 18 touchdowns, 1 interception, QBR of like 87 point something. That's 12th in the nation, but he's balling, right? And he's got this Crimson Tide team looking like they're chugging along. And that's exactly what you need from your quarterback, okay? You're the coach out there on the field. Yes, you're in the headset getting whatever you need from your offensive coordinator or your coach, but you are the field general. You are the one that really makes that team go. Everybody thrives off of what you do at that quarterback position. Again, it is one, if not the most important position in sports. You are the head honcho. So all this train goes off of how you play, dog. There is no relying on this defense. There is no relying on running backs. Okay, we're relying on you. And he's been able to throw it where it needs to be thrown. His wide receivers are getting open. He's making tight throws. He's commanding his offense. He's commanding his team. I still don't believe their aura is back. But again, the Crimson Tide are playing exceptional. I cannot say otherwise. And it gives Crimson Tide fans hope, right? I said that last week. I said that the week before. Like, this now gives you hope. This is like, okay, you know what? DeBoer is not Saban. All right, Kalen DeBoer is not Saban. He hasn't won here yet. But you know what? We just may feel comfortable with how the rest of the season goes. Right now, they're what, number 4 in the country? So think about it, where they were at the beginning of the season. You lose to Florida State, right? You get all the way to the bottom of the barrel, and now you're shooting your way back up to the top again. Sounds like a formula for, success. So got to give credit to Ty Simpson. Yes, I have him as my top Heisman candidate.
I think it's completely fair. And like, again, he can move, but I wouldn't say running is like his greatest strength. He's solid in the pocket, really accurate. And again, to your point, like those receivers at Bama, like, Jeremy Bernard and Ryan Williams are, make his job that much more easy. Thoughts on this, Tim? Do you think, as we sit here today, that Ty Simpson is the front runner for the Heisman Trophy out of Alabama?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like what Ty Simpson has done, but give me Diego Pavia. 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's brought in a program that has been nothing, and now they're in the top 10. I mean, what are we talking about here? That's part of being the Heisman candidate there, right? Is helping your team win? No, I mean, listen, I think Diego Pavia is definitely in the race. But honestly though, I just wanted to get your reaction, Bryson. I got Fernando Mendoza. Fernando Mendoza, 73% completion percentage, 1,750 yards, 21 touchdowns to 2 picks, and Indiana is number 2. And Indiana is a team that, I'll admit, I had a logo bias for a long time. And I'm like, nah, Indiana's Indiana. They're a basketball school. They're Hoosiers. But Fernando Mendoza is really balling out right now. He's really, leading this team, number 2 in the nation. Probably should be number 1 based on, the fact that they've had a harder schedule than Ohio State. Just saying. So it's I think what Ty Simpson has done at Alabama is he got off to a very, very slow start and has really kind of turned it on along with Kalen DeBoer. But for right now, I think I have to go with Fernando Mendoza as my number 1 Heisman guy.
Fernando Mendoza is getting buzzed to be the first overall pick in the draft, and for good reason. Like, the kid is, he's been absolutely outstanding. He's been the the boost for this Indiana offense. Of course, you had to bring up Diego Pavia, and that kind of transitions me into a segment that I'm begrudgingly doing. I'm almost doing it under protest on the show, but majority wins, and we all know how much Tim and Arthur just love the Vanderbilt Commodores. Just out of nowhere, they anchor down, man. They love Vanderbilt. So I'll ask this question, Tim. You take it away. Vanderbilt's 10th ranked in the country. Big game today against Missouri. We'll obviously predict that at the end of the show. I can't believe I'm going to test this question in late October. Are the Vanderbilt Commodores going to make the college football playoff?
I think they absolutely.
Dang it.
Like, what are we talking about? I just laid out 15 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. Diego Pavia is taking care of the football. If you're going to win, especially if you're going to win in the SEC, you have to take care of the football. And that's exactly what they're doing. Like what Vanderbilt has done. And don't forget, yes, they lost to Alabama, but they went toe-to-toe with them. It wasn't a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. It wasn't that we're Bama, you're Vanderbilt, suck it. Like that was not that game a couple of weeks ago. So, yeah, I would be – now, do I expect them to win the SEC championship? That's a much tougher question. But in order to make the college football playoff, I was just clamoring for my Gators that should be a bare minimum. And with Vanderbilt and how they're playing and what's going on with them right now, yeah, I would be shocked if they did not make the college football playoff.
Shocked. Okay.
Now,
Arthur, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to say now, again, obviously that is as of today. But seeing how the rest of the season plays out, again, it all depends. Otherwise, today, I'd be shocked.
The rest of the season, obviously, they've got Missouri today, and that game is in Nashville. They've got at Texas, who obviously has not been playing very well, certainly relative to expectations this year. But that game is in Austin for what it's worth. They got Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, and then they got to go the Lions Den, Neyland Stadium, and we know what's going to happen there. Arthur, is Vanderbilt going to make the college football playoff?
Hell yes. Bryson, dude, it's okay, dog. It's okay, okay? Keep your head up, all right? There is a very fat chance that they make it over your Tennessee Volunteers, and it's perfectly okay, dog. You listen, I was going to say the schedule, but you already said it. We're going to talk about who's going to win between Missouri and Vanderbilt later on. As you said, Texas, they don't look like Texas. I'm sorry, okay? Auburn, come on. Kentucky, come on. I'm just ready for November 29th, dog, because I can't wait to see your face when y'all lose. That will be so – hey, man, your face will be memes for me for a very, very long time. It is going to warm my heart.
We should do a live stream of that game, the three of us. That would be just to see Bryson's reactions.
Dude, I'm down, okay? I'm sure I will have nothing to do. I will be perfectly down for it. But yes, there's no doubt about it, because you know how the saying goes, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Well, how they started, okay, was amazing. Now, yeah, you go against Charleston South, okay, you stomped them. You stomped Virginia Tech. You beat South Carolina. Huge upset. You beat Georgia State. Okay. You beat Utah State. And then you lose to Alabama. Dude, before you lose to Bama, that's 5 wins in a row. So you set yourself up for success the rest of the season. Now it's about just keeping the ship afloat. But again, with this schedule's going, it's more than a float, dog. We're sailing. We're sailing, baby. Hey, we're anchoring down. Okay, Alabama. Hey, listen, the Ora's not back, but Alabama did what they were supposed to do. We're going to shut down the noise about y'all, and we're going to win in our home stadium. Kudos to you. Okay, cool. We didn't get to put our anchor down, but the rest of the season, the anchor's down, buddy. The anchor is absolutely down, Bryson. It's going to be down all the way to the college football playoff. They'll lose. Okay, I'm with Tim. I don't think they'll win the SEC either. That's a much tougher conversation. But if we're talking about making the college football playoff, we're shipping all the way there, dog. They're going to lose, but they're going to ship their way there.
I just want to make sure everybody out there knows this, is that since the start of the 2022 season, the only team that has beaten Tennessee in Neyland Stadium is the mighty Georgia Bulldogs. That's it. Not Bama, not Oklahoma, not any of these major programs, and dang sure not Vanderbilt. So I'm just telling you right now, I've said a million times. No, listen, let's see how it plays out, Tim. And I know you're having your day in the sun today. You know what? I think we're all pretty confident in Vanderbilt today, to say the very least. Missouri's a good team. Again, we'll not spoil predictions. We'll get to that to the end of the show. But November 29th is coming, and it's coming fast.
You know what I'm hearing, Arthur? You know what I'm hearing out of Bryson? Is he scared? Oh, is he scared? Listen to the tone of his voice, man. He's like, no team has ever beaten, outside of Georgia. No one has gone into Neyland and beaten anyone else but Georgia. Oh, Bryson, you are so scared, man. November 29th is going to be electric.
Every single time we bring up Diego Pavia, he always brings up November 29th. Why? Why? I understand we're looking forward to that.
Exactly why.
He's scared. Because Halloween is for another week, and he's scared.
Oh boy! See, because this guy is out here telling the offseason, we own the state of. Hell, you don't own the state of Tennessee. You're Vanderbilt. Listen, you've had a cute season. Kudos to you. You're top 10 in the country. I think the college football playoff poll comes out in 9 days or so. You're going to be highly ranked if you take care of business today against Missouri. You're in good shape. But the beauty of it. And we see it mostly with any city. We see it with Cleveland sports, is that once the expectations get higher and higher and higher, and then they just crash down. It's a beautiful thing, and I promise it's going to happen in dominant fashion at Neyland Stadium. We're going to be ready to go. Let me tell you something. Vol Nation, we might go checker Neyland for that game. That place is going to be crazy. I can't wait to see it. Okay. Thank God that segment's over. Let's move to our first curated segment of the show. It is now time for Buckeyes Breakfast with none other than our Buckeye resident here, Arthur Hurst. Arthur, take it.
What's going on, audience? It is Buckeye Breakfast with me, Arthur Hurst. Now listen, We are on a bye week. Much deserved. We've been whooping ass this season. Belt to ass all season. Okay, we've had a few close calls. Okay, Texas first game, we won 14-7. Washington put up a good fight, but they weren't able to do much. It's just been a steamroller right now for this Buckeyes offense, this Buckeyes defense, this Buckeye team as a whole. I love what I'm seeing right now from them. Julian's saying, dude, this was the first time. Listen, I talked about it last week, how Luke Fickell and the Ohio State Buckeyes have a lot of history together. Luke Fickell played here in the 90s, and he was also a coach here during the 2010s. And I said, listen, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be bittersweet because we're going to get that W. But it's going to be tough going up against somebody that the state of Ohio just loves. We adore them. Okay? Again, player at Ohio State, coach here at Ohio State, and was coaching at Cincinnati. But sometimes jobs, the glamour, the glitz, right? It just looks beautiful. And I wish he would have. I wish Luke Fickell stayed at Cincinnati. You see what the Bearcats are doing. They're rolling. And right now, the Wisconsin Badgers are just having a very tough time. And the fans want Luke Fickell gone. I don't think he should be. I still believe you need to give him time. Let him get his guys in there and see what they can do. See if they can get the shit upright. Right? Because right now they're drowning. But I love what the Buckeyes are doing right now. But that was the first game last week where Ryan Day just let Julian Sayin come out and play. And I've been calling for that for a while now. But you see what Ryan Day wanted in that game. We're going to put our foot down early, and we're going to stomp them. I didn't like the fact that they stalled out at the end of the first half. You scored 17 straight points. You seem to be on a roll. And then all of a sudden, your offense stalls out. Your defense is trying to hold its own as long as it possibly can. But you end up blowing the Wisconsin Badgers out. You're still number one at the end of the day. I'm proud of it. But that's what I want to see from this Buckeyes team. Come out that first possession on offense and let Julian Sayin just go. Go, okay? He's shown he can command this offense. He's shown he can throw the ball. He's shown he has amazing accuracy, precision. He's going to get his guys open. Okay, that's one of those things that I'm looking forward to him doing. He's had a few underthrows, okay, but we're going to be working on that the rest of his tenure here at the Ohio State Buckeyes team. Throw your guys open. You've got Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, two of the best wide receivers in college football right now. Throw them open. The separation that them two are creating is insane, okay? Throw your guys open. Don't underthrow them. Lead them to the touchdown, okay? In this defense, what can I say, man? That front four is continuing to scare offenses. And, dude, we're blitzing. I was surprised about that. Dude, we blitzed a few times last week. Reese came in there and messed stuff up, okay? Sonny, same thing. Hey, Matt Patricia, this is what it's looking like the rest of the season. We're actually going to start sending an extra man to put pressure on the quarterback. I'm here for it because we have the roster to do it. We still need to work on our zone defense. We're still allowing offenses to find the soft spots in there. Okay, there are a few times where Wisconsin was able to get downfield. They weren't able to capitalize, but they were able to get downfield. Okay, cool. But when it comes time to really playing those teams that love to get downfield, and we're going to be seeing them in the college football playoff, those teams that really love to get downfield, the Oregons of the Oregon Ducks, right? Alabama Crimson Tide, right? Indiana, the Indiana Hoosiers. These teams love to get that football down the field. And Ohio State defense really hasn't had a challenge all season on that yet, that defense. But when it comes to those teams, they better be ready. They were ready last year, and they went all the way to the national championship during that playoff run. I'm sure they'll be ready this year, but it's going to be different. It's a different thing from what you've seen during this season. But I love where we're at. We're number one right now. Again, we've got this bye, so we're going to be on the couch seeing what the rest of the college football landscape is doing. We're going to be taking our notes, and we're going to be getting ready for next weekend. Again, I love what I'm seeing. Oh, wait. Yo. That's it for Buckeyes Breakfast with me, Arthur Hurst. We're about to go to a break, and we'll be back with the Saturday Morning Tailgate.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Tailgate here on the Grid Network, episode 7. Tim, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I do want to say something. Bryson, I just saw this on X, and I thought this was perfect for you. We got King Saban of Vandy at College Game Day today.
That's funny considering what Saban said last year about Vanderbilt. Like the tides have turned. Evidently, he has conquered. He has conquered the kingdom of Nashville. There's no question about it. To your point, Arthur. Listen, I think I kind of gave the magic touch to this Ohio State offense and opened it up for Julian Sain, because you've been saying all season long, open it up. And I said last week, I think it's going to happen this week, and Julian Sain absolutely balled out. So let's go and get into our top 25s. Arthur, I'll go and put up your top 25 to start. What do you got here?
Obviously, my Ohio State Buckeyes at number 1. It would be blasphemy. Listen, I understand what Tim is saying. Indiana has had the tougher schedule. Guess what? We've played our schedule, and we're undefeated, and we're number 1. So, yes, Ohio State's number 1. Indiana, I got them at number 2. Again, I don't think this is a fluke team. I believe that Curt Cignetti is really building his program. He's building his culture with the Hoosiers. They've been a basketball school for a very long time. Well, right now, the tides have flipped because basketball has sucked. And the football team is right now holding the Hoosier fans, holding the Indiana University, holding them upright. Texas A&M, I got them at number 3. They're playing fantastic. Georgia, they've had 2 close call games this season. Ones that really hit me were Tennessee and Ole Miss. I'll talk about Ole Miss a little bit more when I get to them. Alabama, they're playing well. They're playing a lot better. They started off slow, but right now, number 5. I can't be mad at how Kalen DeBoer and this team with Ty Simpson as the leader has righted this ship. They're starting to play. They're playing very, very well. And like I said, I got Ty Simpson now as my Heisman favorite. Oregon, Dan Lanning and his Oregon Ducks, they got a loss on the season, but hey, they're still playing very well. I expect them to be a threat when the college football playoff turn comes here. Georgia Tech, listen, man, the city of Atlanta, I love it. I need to get down there. I need to see Georgia Tech play. I need to be in that atmosphere. I bet it's amazing. Miami, the U, it's been a little bit of a slump. I'm surprised. I thought Carson Beck and them were going to be able to stay up there in the top 3, but sometimes, as Chauncey Billups say, you got to see where the chips fall. Ole Miss. Ole Miss. Dude, look, that was disappointing, okay? Bryson, can we put my face up here real quick, please? Because I really want to go into this.
Yeah, I got you. What's up?
What in the hell was that game, dude? You have it. You literally have the game. And then when you get the ball back after letting Georgia score, you still have the lead, Bryson. They still have the lead. And then you throw 3 straight passes. I understand your rushing offense wasn't doing what you would have liked it to do. Okay, I get it. But at some point in time, you still got to keep the ball on the ground. Why are you doing 3 straight passes? Why? Okay, and that's when that happened on that drive, I said, oh yeah, it's over. It's over. Bulldogs are going to win this game because you got them scared to run the ball. You can't be scared to get out of what your game plan was. Run the ball on first down, get, a few yards, make it 3rd and manageable. Instead, you have it 3rd and 10 steal after 2 straight pass attempts before. No, get the ball on first down, run it a little bit, see what you can do on 2nd, and see what you can do on 3rd. Instead, you give Georgia Bulldogs life because they see, oh, okay, this is going to run the ball. Cool. 3 straight pass attempts. Oh, yeah. Kirby Smart saw that. Hey, it's blood in the water. Let's run them out of here. And that's exactly what you did. You can't get scared out of your game plan. You got to stick to your game plan. And it disappointed me because they had it. They should have won that game. But you choked. That was a terrible choke job. Let me stop. Let me calm down because I was angry last week about it. But we're back. Diego Pavia. Bryson's favorite quarterback, not Joey Aguilar. He'll be fine. It is Diego Pavia, the real team of Nashville, the real college football team of Tennessee. They are right now on a roll. Okay, anchor down, baby. I love what I see from the Vanderbilt Commodores. BYU, the Mormons are playing well. I didn't expect to see them in the college football playoff, but hey, we here, baby. As long as they can keep doing what they're doing, they're going to be in the college football playoff. Notre Dame, I'm happy, okay? Because, listen, I was very disappointed, and I said it for weeks. There's no way you go from being in the national championship last year to now you're at the bottom of the freaking pack. But Coach Freeman has righted that ship, and they're right now at number 12 on my list. Oklahoma, it's been a little bit of a fall off. I need y'all to come on. But I blame that on John Mateer because, dude, you had no business being in that red rivalry game 2 weeks ago. Y'all could have still been in the top 10. Y'all still would have been cool. But you messed that up. Right now, y'all on the outside looking in. The first team on the outside looking in, which that needs to be a good thing for y'all. But y'all shouldn't be on the outside looking in. Y'all should still be in. Texas Tech, Virginia, and Missouri, I got them at 14, 15, and 16. Okay? Look, dog, we didn't expect these schools to be here. I still think of the Virginia Cavaliers as a basketball school. But the fact that your football team is doing well, I'm happy for y'all. But again, it's just part of being we didn't expect y'all to be here. Okay? Missouri, we got Nick Saban talking about Missouri being a threat in the SEC. Since when? I didn't know the Missouri Tigers were a flex. We're going to be a threat. We're going to be we got the Missouri Tigers in the SEC. Okay, the Big Ten is nothing. Like, come on, Coach Saban. What are we talking about here? But Tennessee, hey, what was going on with that orange? Bryson, that should looking spoiled. It's looking old. Okay, it don't look good, especially when you keep talking about how they are the premier college football team of Tennessee. It don't look like it so far this season. USF playing exceptionally well. Louisville, you got to give them credit where credit is due. LSU, dog, y'all been a big disappointment. Okay, I talked about it 2 weeks ago. Y'all don't look like Tigers. Y'all looking like pussycats this season. I thought this offense was going to be better. I know Garrett Nussmeier was one of the premier Heisman candidates, along with Arch Manning as well from the Texas Longhorns. But dog, y'all have been bad to say the least. Texas Longhorns. Listen, I'm nice, okay, but y'all probably will be out of this top 25 by the end of the weekend. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm being nice, but y'all being 21 overall. Okay. Cincinnati Bearcats, Luke Fickell should still be there, but nonetheless, you build on your foundation. Luke Fickell set the foundation, and right now the Bearcats are building on top of it. And they are having success doing it. Arizona State, Illinois, Michigan to round out my top 25. Michigan, hey man, listen, freshman quarterback. Bryce Underwood is just going to continue getting better. You're just going to have to deal with the growing pains. But that's my top 25 for this college football week 9.
Before we move on, Arthur, you say one more bad word about Tennessee not being in the premier team in college football.
Tennessee sucks.
You both better watch it. All right,
it seems like everything with Tennessee is bad in front of it. Tennessee Titans, the Tennessee Volunteers. Hey man,
Bryson, you ready to carry this show by yourself?
You know what? Desperate times call for desperate measures. Dang it, that's where we're at. Listen, you might have to put an APB out for me if the Florida Gators end up beating us on November 22nd. Tim, I'm a little nervous for that game. I'm more nervous. Hand to God, more nervous for that game than I am Vanderbilt. That just shows you how little respect I have for the Commodores. Anyways, Tim, let's go and put up your top 25 if we can have it up here. There you go. What do you got here?
There we go. We got a little bit of a shake-up here, kind of similar to what Art has, but obviously starting off with Ohio State, getting the shutout victory over Wisconsin, Indiana destroying Michigan State. What else is new? Michigan State's not good. A&M still undefeated after squeaking by Arkansas 45-42. Bama absolutely routing Tennessee, jumps up to number 4. Georgia at number 5. Due to their come-from-behind victory against Ole Miss. Georgia Tech remains 7-0, undefeated after taking down Duke. Oregon, 6-1, bounce-back victory, destroying Rutgers 56-10. Ole Miss, tough loss for them, but I still have them, obviously, in my top 10. Miami, same thing. Tough loss versus Louisville, but hey, you love to see it. And then Vanderbilt, of course, they are back in good graces after beating number 10 LSU because, as we all know, LSU is fake. So Vanderbilt is number 10. Then I have Notre Dame at number 11 after taking down number 20 ranked USC 34-24 at home. Big time victory for the Fighting Irish if they have any hopes of getting back in the college football playoff. Then I got Missouri winning in overtime 23-17 at Auburn. No matter what you say about Auburn, Jordan Hare is always a tough place to play. So big victory for Missouri. Oklahoma, same thing as what Art said. The fact that they have one loss at the Red River rivalry is just stupid. John Mateer shouldn't have played, which is why they're on the outside looking in. Texas Tech, brutal loss at Arizona State last week, 26-22, is why they've fallen far out of the top 10. BYU, still undefeated somehow. So, after a good victory over number 23, Utah, 24-21. That's why I got them at number 15, Tennessee. Now, I don't want to appease Bryson, but I do have Tennessee one spot higher than where Art has them. So, there's that. Otherwise, Tennessee sucks. And then I've got Virginia at 17 after taking down Washington State 22-20. Only jumped up 2 slots from where I had them last at number 19. Michigan has continued to get the win, especially the week after they lose, dominating Washington 24-7. Cincinnati 6-1, 49-17 takedown at Oklahoma State. Yes, Oklahoma State is without a quarterback, but I still like the Bearcats at number 19. And then I got Navy. They were on a bye last week, but they are undefeated. Moving on to the final part of the top 25, you got the Trojans. I had them falling from 16-21 after that loss at Notre Dame. Louisville, I have jumping from unranked to rank after taking down Miami. Louisville has looked good. LSU, once again, falling from 17-23. I would take them off this list if it wasn't for USF, but I don't like USF. I think they're a fake good football team. So, yes, that's why I have LSU at 23. Then I've got Illinois, and to round it off, Arizona State.
Fair enough. Listen, I respect you standing on principle and just saying the heck with Texas. Arthur, you said Arthur. I'm gonna be nice to Texas. I'll put them in. They're 5-2. Okay, whatever. I respect Tim standing on principle. Still a fake top 10 win for the Gators, right?
Correct. Texas is a fake top 10 win. Texas is an extremely fake football team, even though I will say Arch Manning probably looked his best last week.
He did. He has played better. And that was a good road win against Kentucky. Go and put up my top 25 this week. So go ahead.
I said bad road win versus Kentucky. The fact that it went to overtime, come on.
And let's keep it a buck. Mark Stoops blew that call in overtime. That was the bad coaching certainly aided Texas in a major way. Go and put in my top 25. I've got the defending champion Ohio State Buckeyes number 1 again last week, dominating Wisconsin. Julian Sand has been absolutely balling out quickly. When you look at the Buckeyes, Julian Sand again opening up the offense, getting the ball to Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and others. I had Indiana number 2 last week, even before the Miami loss. A lot of folks have Miami too. Indiana's been unbelievable. To Tim's point, Fernando Mendoza has been playing awesome football this year. He is in the running to be the first overall pick in the draft. I've got the Tide number 3. I think they've looked unbelievable since that opening loss against Florida State. Ty Simpson is very much firmly in the Heisman Trophy discussion. 2 elite receivers, Jeremy Bernard, Ryan Williams, and Kalen DeBoer. Listen, as much flack as he's taken, Kalen DeBoer, his resume would tell you, certainly if you look at recently at Washington prior to Bama, last year had a tough year. You know what? He's still a great coach, and he is pretty much never loses when he wears the black hoodie. If he's wearing the black hoodie, you're in trouble. Georgia Bulldogs number 4, big time win against Ole Miss last week. Kind of a shootout game. The fact that they've been able to win 2 of these type of games against my Vols and then against the Ole Miss Rebels. Gunnar Stockton has really, really impressed me in recent weeks. It looks like Kirby Smart has kind of opened up this offense for him to cook. Obviously, Georgia added some wide receivers in the portal to give him the best opportunity to succeed. I've got A&M number 5. I think A&M is a tinge overrated by some of the top 25 polls. I get it. Undefeated in the SEC, but their schedule outside of, listen, to their credit, a big-time win against Notre Dame on the road. That's really important. Other than that, they've kind of played a soft SEC schedule. We'll see what they do in the final half of the season, starting today against LSU in Death Valley. Number 6, I've got Oregon. Dante Moore's really impressed me. I think we talk about potential Heisman candidates. You have to at least bring up his name. Dan Lanning's done a great job there. Very much a contender in the Big Ten. Ole Miss, number 7, they fall just a little bit, but they're still an excellent football team. The kid Chambliss, the backup quarterback who stepped in and played well, he's been great. Want to see them establish the running game more moving forward. I've got Notre Dame at number 8. They've looked fantastic since the 0-2 start. Marcus Freeman's done a great job. CJ Carr has been one of the more impressive young quarterbacks in college football. I think the Fighting Irish have a real chance to, again, it was important for them to run the table the rest of the year. They beat USC last week. It was a good win, put themselves in a position to make the playoff. And listen, they were the national championship runner-up, so who knows what could happen. I've got the Miami Hurricanes, number 9. Listen, they dropped 6 spots for me after that loss to Louisville. Carson Beck, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 interceptions. Rough game for him, one of the more inconsistent quarterbacks in college football. But that defense is great. I still think they're going to be in good shape moving forward. Georgia Tech, how about this? How about, undefeated in the ACC, good quarterback play, solid coaching. I've got the Yellow Jackets in the top 10. Moving on to the next 10, I've got BYU at number 11. Listen, undefeated in the Big 12. Big time win against Utah last week, kind of a statement win in that conference, putting themselves in a really good position to win the Big 12 and get in the playoff. I've got Oklahoma 12. Listen, they've big time bounce back win last week against South Carolina. As the guy said before me, ain't no way John Mateer should have played in that game against Texas. If not, Oklahoma's probably in the top 5 today. So that was a tough loss early, and we'll see how they rebound down the stretch late. Still, good opportunity to potentially make the SEC championship game. I do have Vanderbilt at 13, unlucky number 13, but still they are in the top 13, if you will. Diego Pavia's played excellent football. What can you say? 15 touchdowns, 4 picks, big time win against Missouri at home. I will give love where it's due. He's still not but even the best quarterback in his own state in college football, but that's okay. Virginia at number 14, the ACC. Texas Tech, that loss on the road last week against Arizona State. It was a tough one for the Red Raiders. Again, I think if there's one thing we learned in college football last week, it is that winning on the road is really, really, really hard. And Texas Tech, you saw that going on the road to Arizona State and losing. We'll see if the Red Raiders bounce back. My Vols at 16. Again, the tough loss against Alabama. It's just, I'll talk about this more in the Vol View in just a few minutes, but the play calling down the 1-yard line really screwed Tennessee over to give them an opportunity to cut it to a 2-point game. Alas, the defense played better than I expected. We'll see how Joey Aguilar rebounds. Hopefully his neck is in good shape and he's healthy moving forward. Missouri at 17. Big game against Vandy today. Only got 1 loss on the season. Listen, Cincinnati Bearcats have played great football. Again, a real legit contender in the Big 12. That kind of chase down the stretch between the BYU Cougars, the Texas Tech Red Raiders, and the Cincinnati Bearcats will be fun to watch. I've got USF at number 19. The big game. I'm very, very excited to see USF and Memphis. Today, this afternoon, USF has been playing great football, and shout out to that program. LSU at number 20. Listen, that offense is just anemic. If you take out a win against a FCS team, they have yet to score more than 24 points this season. This offense has been abysmal. It's been anemic. Want to see the LSU Tigers bounce back today against A&M. And finally, to round out my top 25, Louisville at number 21. I've been impressed by Louisville all season. So for them to go on the road in Miami to get that win was very impressive. Arizona State at 22. I'm still holding out faith that potentially Arizona State could still come through for me and win the Big 12 as I predicted in the regular season. I'm a huge fan of Kenny Dillingham. I had Illinois in the playoff before the year. That's obviously not going to happen unless something crazy happens. Luke Altmaier's a good quarterback. Illinois is at number 23. I've got Texas at 24. Look, the defense is excellent. The weapons are, Arch Manning did play solid. We've seen a gradual improvement certainly since that week 1 loss against Ohio State. We'll see how Texas plays today. And I got Houston to round out the top 25 in the Big 12. Cougars have been playing good football. So that's how my top 25 looks. And so any thoughts on that, gentlemen? Am I off? Do I have Vanderbilt too low? Is that an issue?
Absolutely. Having them outside of the top 12 is freaking insane for Oklahoma. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yes, Oklahoma is better than Vanderbilt. Yes, they are absolutely better than Vanderbilt. In what world? Okay, think about this.
Have you been watching the same college football we have?
I believe we have. We have. Yes, I think we have. Let's see. Oklahoma and Vandy do not play this year.
Bias is protruding.
I've got Bama in the top 3. How is that bias?
Earlier this year. Give me a break.
What's that?
I said I had Florida State in my top 10 earlier this year. Give me a break. You can't have Vanderbilt in your top 12.
And guess what? I've got Alabama at number 3. So you know what? I can be objective even when it comes to my team's fiercest rivals. Let's see them prove it, okay?
This is beaten down by Alabama way too much. No wonder why you have them number 3.
I mean, we've won the last 4 games. We won half of them, but that's okay. Regardless, let's move on to the Vol View. Listen, this is going to be a very spirited segment for me on the show. The Vol View with yours truly, Bryson Garver. So here's the thing. That's a tough loss last week. It really was. So it all comes down to this. It's 16-7. Tennessee's down to the Tide. Driving the ball down in the first half, and it's like worst case scenario. Okay, Max Gilbert's going to kick a field goal. It's going to be 16-10. Worst case. All right, go to the locker room. Feel good about ourselves. We get the ball down the 1-yard line. There's 9 seconds left. Tennessee has no timeouts. This is a very important fact. Tennessee has no timeouts, 1-yard line with 9 seconds left. So you know the Vols, unless it was 4th and goal, which it wasn't, you know the Vols are not going to run the football. And yet Joey Hasley, the offensive coordinator for this team, who's done a solid job, he decides to call mistake number 1. He decides to call play action. Well, that's a mistake right there because Bama knows, unless it's 4th and goal, which it wasn't, no timeouts, you are not running the football from the 1 because you get stopped, half comes to an end, you come up empty-handed. Ironically, that would have been better than what ended up happening, but regardless, that's what Alabama's thinking in that situation. Mistake number 2, top 2 receivers on the field are not on the field. Chris Brazzell and Braylon Staley. That's number 2. And number 3, for my issues with that play call, the play action, you got Miles Kitselman, the tight end, running to the right pylon. He is open if Joey Aguilar throws it to his outside shoulder. Instead, on an out route, an experienced quarterback in Joey Aguilar, who kind of the only knock on him coming out of Appalachian State, he can be a bit loose with the football. He can be a bit turnover prone. He throws it to Miles Kitselman's inside shoulder and 100-yard pick six to the house, and that's all she wrote. That I knew at that point, games that we are not coming back from that, not in Tuscaloosa. That's the bad news. Good news is for the Vols. You're out of SEC championship contention. I don't see them running the table and other teams above them just collapsing for that to happen. But you still control your own destiny for the playoff. Again, is it likely? I don't know. But you control your destiny. Get a big-time game against Kentucky today. Listen, Kentucky, I sort of alluded to it earlier, but Kentucky had Texas on the ropes last week at home in Lexington. By the way, beautiful part of the country. Lexington, Kentucky, highly recommend. Y'all go there. It's great part of town. But it's 13-13, so you can see low-scoring game. 13-13, Texas. Kentucky can't get anything going offensively. Kentucky gets the ball first in overtime. They get the ball down the 1-yard line. If this were a 35-35 game, absolutely go for it on 4th down at the 1. Dude, your defense has shut down Texas all afternoon, or all night, rather. They've done nothing. Instead, you decide to go for the touchdown. You get stopped. Texas still doesn't really do much on the drive, but walk-off field goal, and you end up losing at home to the Longhorns, who kind of saved their season, at least in the here and now, with that win last week. So can Tennessee get the job done against Kentucky? I believe they will. So if you get the job done against Kentucky, big-time game at home next week against the aforementioned Oklahoma Sooners, who I have in my top 12. I've been impressed by this team, this defense. John Mateer, when healthy, has been one of the better quarterbacks in college football. He got that game. Then he got New Mexico State. Okay. Then he got at Tim's Gators. I'm a little nervous for that game. We haven't won in the swamp since 2003. And, Florida playing with house money, interim head coach. I've always called it substitute teacher syndrome. And we'll probably talk about that once we get more close to that. And then at the end of the season, of course, as we mentioned many times throughout the show and many times throughout this season, November 29th at home against the Vanderbilt Commodores. Folks, you go undefeated from there, run the table from here. 10-2 SEC team at 10-2 is not going to miss the college football playoff. It's all out in front of Tennessee. This offense has proven itself to be really good. Deshaun Bishop has been running like crazy over the last few weeks. He's been fantastic. And this receiving core, top 10 in receiving yards. To talk about Mike Matthews, Braylon Staley, and of course, a guy who should be in contention for the Biletnikoff Award in Chris Brazzell. Been impressed by this offense. Last week, notwithstanding, want to see it continue to grow and improve. And I want to see Joey Aguilar really kind of try and cut out those mistakes. So big game for my Vols today against Kentucky. Feel good about it. And that's where we're at today. That is it for this week's edition of the Vol View. We will be back in just 1 minute here on the Saturday Morning Tailgate. And when we come back, the cover crew, we will give you, all three of us, our top game day picks. If you want to win money out there, unless your name's Terry Rozier, Chauncey Billups, and Damon Jones, we will try and win you guys some money. Be back in just 1 minute here on the Saturday Morning Tailgate. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Tailgate podcast, live here on the Grid Network. Appreciate everybody stopping by today for episode 7. Let's get into our cover crew picks, guys. We're trying to win everybody money here on the show. Again, unless you're an NBA player. We're not trying that. That's different conversation. We're not trying to get in trouble here. We're not trying to do anything illegal. All right, we're playing by the rules. Tim, we're going to start with you. What is your cover crew pick for this Saturday?
I am going unexpectedly with Mississippi State over Texas. You know, I think the way Texas has played all season, the money line is plus 230 to take Mississippi State, which give me that all day long. I love those odds. I always try to look for teams where, you know, you get the money line or even the points, and the odds are phenomenal. Plus 230 for a team like Mississippi State, who has shown they can play some tough football. They took Tennessee to the wire. They obviously took my Gators to the wire. Texas, meanwhile, doesn't know, how to throw the friggin' football anymore. They like the way that team is playing. The fact that, okay, people want to be like, oh, well, Texas was in Kruger Field last week. It doesn't matter. That game would have played out the exact same way in Texas as it did in Kentucky. The fact that it was a 16-13 game in overtime, I mean, come on. How are we not taking Mississippi State? How are the betting lines not more even than that? So, yeah, give me Mississippi State plus 230. Come on.
I said it last month. Mississippi State scared me as a Vols fan, and they scared me a lot during the game. So they're a they beat Arizona State.
And it's
that is one of the
those cowbells are gonna go crazy.
No, they're obnoxious. I really, and nothing against it's nothing personal against the fans, but dear God, I hate the cowbells.
I hate the cowbells.
Oh, they're so awful. They're awful. That's the worst one of the. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Arthur, who do you got in your cover crew matchup?
Oh, Indiana about to whoop that ass. Listen, look, UCLA about to come back down to earth fast as hell, dog. Look, I blame Penn State, man. I blame James Franklin. Jimbo, dog, do you see what you started? Like, dude, come on now. 4 straight losses on the season, and now we got 3 straight W's, starting with the fact that they whooped James Franklin and his Penn State Nittany Lions. Dude, you set them up for terrible failure because you got to go into Indiana with them Hoosier fans. Hoosiers! You got to hear that. Dude, Nico about to have himself a hell of a day in hell. It's about to be Hoosiers all the way. Bruh, stop this. Please silence this. I'm getting tired of it.
UCLA has got to be the most discussed 3 and 4 team in college. I mean, and again, to their credit, they play good football. It's why I actually included that game, even despite the spread on our game day pick. So we'll see where myself and Tim go. This one's good, obvious for me. I'm also staying the Big Ten. I got Oregon minus 31.5. You're like, gosh, that's a huge line. It's not. I don't think any line is big enough when you consider how awful, and I mean awful, Wisconsin's offense has been. If you're a fan of a struggling team in college football, you're like, our offense is terrible. Maybe it is. It ain't. I can guarantee you it is not worse than Wisconsin. Just a quick reminder, over their last 3 games, this is what Wisconsin's done. Punt, interception, punt, field goal, punt, interception, punt, fumble, turnover and downs, punt, turnover and downs, punt, interception, punt, turnover and downs. They're awful. They are far and away the worst offense in all college football. They are, yes, you said it, Tim. They are trash. Oregon's about to put it to them in Austin without question. All right, is your mic muted, Tim? Make sure I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I got you. Okay, I just want to make sure because it's officially time. It's your segment now, and I've been looking forward to this all week based on what's happened. It is now time for Gator City with Tim Barnard. Tim, go ahead.
All right. Wow, look at that. No white screen. Well, welcome into Gator City, guys. So, of course, the big news is the fact that Billy Napier was let go on Sunday. It was inevitable. I mean, he was truly the king of the hot seat. People have been clamoring to get him fired for the last 2, maybe even 3 years now. And again, as I've stated before on this show, online and everything, it sucks because Billy seems like a really great guy, really genuine person, just a dude you can hang out with, and he really cares about you, and all these great things. Great family man, which is awesome. You know, you love to see it. But unfortunately, he just couldn't get the job done. And last week was a prime example of that. I mean, yes, we have the USF game. You should never lose to USF ever. But last week was a prime example. And that's why I did my dumb versus dumber reel, you know, because I was just so furious with how that game ended. You had Billy Napier just totally like throw the ball on 3rd and 1 when your running back is a stud, averaging a minimum 4.5 yards a carry on 3rd and 1 when you needed to win the game. Follow that up with, you know, Mississippi State getting the ball back, and with 29 seconds, taking their last time out, which I thought was crazy. Like, why wouldn't you want to save that for, you know, you're throwing the ball around, you're trying to get to field goal range because you're only down 1. And then they were in field goal range. They called the last time out, but it was 29 seconds. Follow that up with a throw on the very next play, and it gets intercepted by a 300-plus pound lineman. So it was really dumb versus dumber, and that's where Billy lucked out with that win last week, no doubt about it. But as I said on this show before that game, I was like, even if he does get the win, he's probably going to get fired. And for, you know, rightfully so, you know, and the way people have been treating this Florida program has been absolutely wild. All the comments from the national media pundits, you know, because of course, the number one guy that we want is Lane Kiffin, and he's at Ole Miss. And Ole Miss is a very good program, a program with some history. And by history, I mean 1960s, 50s, and 40s history. But everyone is like, oh, we've gone through 4 coaches in the last 15 years since Urban Meyer left. The Florida brand is trash. It's not good. And not for nothing, I could read you a few of these. You have Tim Brando going on saying that the Gator fan base is toxic. He's known Scott Strickland a long time, and now he must again cave to the wishes of their fans. You know, he better go outside the box for this hire because that's what it's going to take. Fans hate reading the word toxic, and I get that. Not that many others aren't, but they fail to understand the history of their program and the long history of the SEC football. Their program, even with their state, is the most challenged of any other Southern state. And he's got a whole freaking thing talking about, you know, the history of the Florida Gators program, which, again, outside of Steve Spurrier winning the Heisman in 1966, you're right. We've had a lot of great players for, you know, throughout the black hole years, you could call it. And we've flirted with SEC championships, national championships. But due to violations and this, that, and the other, you know, obviously we couldn't have played for those, or we got it repealed or vacated, whatever. And then Steve Spurrier starts coaching in 1990. Next thing you know, the brand, the Florida brand, is massive. It's worldwide. Hell, the Swamp was not nicknamed the Swamp until Steve Spurrier started coaching there. So, correct. We don't have a history past 1990, basically, outside of 1 year in 66. But the last 35 years are kind of showing you a lot. You also have Matt Bowers saying, what is the allure of the modern University of Florida job? Since 2011, they have hired and fired 4 coaches, about to be 5. All were fired inside of 4 years, 2 with Muschamp and McElwain, who are SEC coaches of the year. The last coach to have success left 16 years ago voluntarily and checked himself in to nervous hospital because of the constant harassment and stress. Based on the documentary, that was a hell of a lot more self-stress than it was from the fans. But I digress. Bowers continues to say, I keep hearing about this recruiting advantage. There are several high major football programs in the state, FSU, Miami, Florida, plus fringe majors, USF, UCF, not to mention every major football program in the country. Recruits in Florida with a duffel bag of cash. So if the recruiting is so good, why can't anyone win there? Did Muschamp, Mullen, Matt Napier all forget how to coach when they got to town? And to my answer to that is yes. Yes, they did. And I looked it up. It wasn't hard to kind of figure out why Muschamp, Mullen, McElwain all got fired, in their tenure. Muschamp, yes, he was the SEC Coach of the Year in 2012. He was 27-20, 17-15 in SEC conference play. He lost to Georgia Southern in 2013. For those of you who forget, Georgia freaking Southern. He lost to them. It's as bad as losing to USF this year. Muschamp's offense sucked, for those of you who want to forget. He didn't recruit on offense. He refused to recruit on offense. He thought you could win a game in the SEC 3-0. He was primarily focused on defense. Yes, he's the defensive guy. But no, you don't win games 3-0. This isn't hockey. All right? Like that's why Muschamp rightfully got fired. Then with McElwain, SEC Coach of the Year in 2015, he was 22-12, 16-6. One of the biggest knocks against him was how he screwed up the Will Grier decision. Had he not told Will Grier that he'd have to fight for his starting job and that he would have a starting job once he came back from suspension, McElwain still could have been there. No doubt about it. But he screwed that up. Will Grier transfers to West Virginia. Also, you have the infamous shark image, fake shark image, I should say, fake, of McElwain on the boat. Then he alluded to death threats that he allegedly could never prove. Not saying they weren't real or that they were fake, just saying that it kind of came and went. And then he got fired because I was in the office during that time, and from what I was hearing, it was either him or Nussmeier. And after the Georgia beatdown of Nick Chubb and Sony Michel running all over us on my birthday, which was awful, but get to be on the sidelines was a lot of fun for the Jacksonville game. Otherwise, yeah, Scott Strickland went to McElwain and basically was like, from what I heard, it's either the OC or you. And he was too prideful not to fire the OC and wanted to remain loyal, so he fell on the sword. Then we get Mullen, Dan Mullen, 34-15, 21-13 in conference play. Went to 3 straight New Year's Six games and won back-to-back. The second one versus Virginia was a lot closer than it probably should have been, but I digress. If it wasn't for the shoe throw, and winning the SEC championship, UF could have made their first college football playoff in 2020, which was a crazy year in and of itself. But Marco Wilson throwing the damn shoe against LSU, and then us beating Alabama in the SEC championship game, had those two scenarios flipped to the positive for us, then we could have been in the college football playoff, no doubt about it. But after all of that, it was so clear as day that Dan Mullen was lazy. He hated recruiting with a burning passion, didn't recruit, and he was loyal. He wouldn't move on from coaches like Todd Grantham. Kind of same thing with McElwain. Wouldn't fire Todd Grantham when it was clear as day. Clear as day. And not for nothing, just because I was in the office, and I don't like to call out people like this, but I was in the office when we were recruiting, when Mullen first got here, before the season ever started. And I was shown, and Todd Grantham had California as one of his territories. Zach Charbonnet, for those of you who know, is a Seattle Seahawks running back currently. Played at UCLA. Now, would he have ever come to Florida? I don't know. But I love Zach Charbonnet. I thought he was great in high school and that we should go out and try to get him. Todd Grantham, after one freaking play, was basically like, turn the film off. He's not good. Oh, nice. Thanks, Todd. Thanks for that. That's the one memory I have of Todd Grantham from my time at UF. But the culture sucked with Dan Mullen. And yes, he was 34-15. He was 21-13 in SEC play. He was the last coach to lead us to a SEC championship game. But the culture was poison. You want to talk about toxic? That was toxic. Why do you think it took Billy 2 years just to get everything right? You know, and that's the thing that people want to forget is the first 2 years, Billy Napier was there trying to save the program from the toxicity, from the culture, from the players can do what they want mentality. You know, and that's what bothers me. Also, you got a nice little piece here on Outkick, which they have Mark Harris writing, Florida is not a better job than Ole Miss. The head coaching job at Ole Miss is on equal footing as the head coaching job at Florida. And then the best part is, after that sentence, the very next paragraph leads off with, but look past the name on the sides of the helmet. Why am I looking past the name on the sides of the helmet? Isn't that the point? Isn't the point of it to be, hey, you have the logo, 2 logos. What is more recognizable, the Ole Miss logo or the Gator Chomp? It's the Gator Chomp. Everybody knows that. He goes on to write, Kiffin, more than any other coach of college football, recruits out of the transfer portal in junior college ranks. The era of homegrown kid is dead. Why? Why does he have to recruit out of the transfer portal in junior college ranks? Is it maybe because he's at the University of Mississippi? Is that why? Where you have a you don't have the TV. You don't have the market like you do at Florida. At Florida, you have Jacksonville an hour and a half away. You have Orlando a little over an hour away. And you have Tampa 2 hours away. Major markets right there at Florida's grasp. And the fact that the era of the homegrown kid is dead is false. It's absolutely false. You're going to have kids who, of course, want to stay as close to home as possible. And as you can see right now, we have several of those players. Not to mention, just for the sheer stats of everything, people want to argue that Florida's not a major program. And this is comparing UF to Ole Miss, right? The alumni enrollment, UF has 500,000 living alumni, whereas the Rebels have 168,000. 60,000 plus current enrollments at UF to 27,000 at Ole Miss. Of course, that has everything to do with impacting donors, fan engagement, and NIL. The attendance, this is a fun one. The Swamp, 90,000 fans, with 16 straight sellouts during a terrible 2-year reign with Billy Napier. Still getting sellouts, mind you. Even though you have 64,000 at Ole Miss with the attendance problems of being a top 5 program. Not too long ago, Kiffin said, quote, I thought our red zone offense showed up like our student section did today in a 24-21 win at home versus a 3-3 Washington State. They're a top 5 team and they're struggling to have their student section sell out. Trust me, Lane, that'll never happen at UF. The revenue, $200 million to $142 million UF versus Ole Miss. State population, 24 million to 3 million. State population under 18, 5 million to 700,000. No state income tax in Florida, 4.4% income tax at Mississippi. Proximity to blue chip recruits, much better in the state of Florida. Proximity to large media markets, as I said, 3 top 20 media markets in Florida versus the 158th media market. Gatorade, Jordan NIL brands, $2.4 billion endowment to 820. UF's a top 5 public university. Ole Miss is outside 100. The weather, as Arthur loves the Florida weather. And then you have airports and logistics. It's so much better to be at UF than it is to be at Ole Miss. And so when you're talking about comparing UF to Ole Miss, it's not a question. Yes, Ole Miss might have the quote-unquote history, but outside of the University of Miami, show me any other Florida school that has a history before 1990. You're not going to find it. Florida State didn't start winning until the 90s. Florida didn't start winning until the 90s. The only school that has that history is Howard Schnellenberger revamping the Miami program in the late 70s. Then Jimmy Johnson took it over. Otherwise, when you're looking at potential head coaches, just to name out a few, of course, Lane Kiffin should be the main guy. He should be the target. He loves Gainesville. He took his now wife on their first date in Gainesville. Like, it means that much. Also, he idolizes Steve Spurrier, which is great. Another guy I need to look at, Eli Drinkowitz at Missouri, 42 years old. He rebuilt Mizzou into a contender, went 11-2 in 2023, 10-3 last year. He's got productive offenses. He can recruit. He just beat Georgia for a 5-star player this past recruiting cycle. Some not so good things. He's barely 500 in SEC play, and recruiting classes fluctuate between 18th in the nation and 48th in the nation. He's currently got a recruiting class at 16th. Now, that one, yes, you could say it's on him, of course, but you can also look at it too and say it's Missouri. You know, you're not going to get the top tier talent to go from California, Florida, Georgia to go into Missouri. You know, the middle of the country. And that would be my argument as to why his recruiting classes aren't necessarily that great, but something worth thinking about. You know, also a couple guys to look at. Jed Fish at Washington, 49 years old. Brent Key doing a hell of a job at Georgia Tech. Rhett Lashley, SMU, you know, he's 42. He's a young guy. He might be a guy to look into. I'm not too high on him, but just another one. Jeff Brom, Louisville. He's older. He's 54, but Louisville having a couple good wins. And when I was trying to study for this, I saw a couple people floated out there, and I'm thinking to myself, really? But Dan Lanning, I don't know if he would leave Oregon. He seems very happy at Oregon. I don't know if we'd even go after Dan Lanning. I don't know if we'd even give him a call. But if all is said and done, why not? Give him a shout just to see gauge his feel for it. You know, he's killing it up in Oregon right now with the Nike contract or Nike being there, basically. Phil Knight running the NIL for the most part. But you have Jordan here. You got Gatorade here. If Lane falls through, why not give Dan Lanning a shout just to see, hey, you interested? So those are a couple guys that I'm interested in looking at just to kind of see what the next situation would be, because not for nothing, we can't go out and get a group of 5 guy. We can't. We have to land a massive coach, a big splash. And hey, if Dan Lanning's interested, which again, I don't know that he is or not, but give him a call wouldn't hurt. To me, it would be Lane, Dan, Eli, 1, 2, 3. And if Dan obviously is like, no, I'm not interested, cool, go to Eli. So it's going to be a tough one, but I'm excited for Billy Gonzalez. He's been a wide receiver coach for a very long time. I think he's going to do very good as the head coach here. And, I just hope that our guys stick around because we have the team, we have the infrastructure to succeed, to be a college football playoff team. We just need the right guy leading the helm. That's all it is. So thank you guys for tuning in to Gator City. We got our game day picks next. So stick around after the break. We're going to make our game day selections. Chomp, chomp.
Welcome back to the Saturday Morning Tailgate live here on the Grid Network, episode 7. It is, of course, now our favorite time on the show. We're going to make our game day picks for Week 9 in all of college football. We're going to start right off the bat in the Big Ten, a game that Arthur had on his on his game day picks on his cover crew. He had Indiana minus 26.5. I just checked. It's gone up. It's now at 27.5. So the bettors, Vegas, loves the Hoosiers in this situation. Tim, do you agree? UCLA's played good football lately. Do you agree? Or do you think UCLA could pull an upset, or did Indiana win this one?
They have. I think what Jerry Neuheisel has done at UCLA has been nothing short of great. I love Tim Skipper. He's such a good dude, a hell of a recruiter. Worked with him my final year at UF. But yeah, gotta give me Indiana. Fernando Mendoza just been absolutely crushing it. So I mean, shout out to Tim Skipper and Jerry Neuheisel, but gotta take the Hoosiers here.
I respect it, Arthur. I know obviously you took this one cover crew.
Hoosiers.
I agree. Listen, would I be shocked if UCLA covered just because of how much drastically better their offense has been? It wouldn't stump. 27 is a lot, although obviously we see much bigger spreads in college football than we do in the NFL. But yeah, I do like the Hoosiers in the spot. They are proving themselves by the week to be a national championship contender. So I'm going with Indiana. Massive game in the American Conference. This game could decide who's the 12 seed in the college football playoff. This is like a pseudo playoff game here in October between USF and Memphis. Who do you got in this one, Tim?
So I have a massive disdain for USF. But don't forget, too, Navy is undefeated in
That's true.
play. So they kind of lean the helm right there. But in this game in particular, I'm taking Memphis. I think what USF has done this year has been a nice story. I think that, again, they didn't beat Florida. Florida beat themselves earlier in this year. And what Memphis has done, yeah, tough loss to UAB, but I think they'll rebound and get this win at home.
Do you agree, Arthur?
No, I'm going to have to take USF in this one, buddy.
All right. I'm going Memphis, because I picked them before the year to be in my 12th seed in the playoffs, so I'm sticking with my pick, and also because the fact that, listen, they got upset last week against UAB, interim head coach. I believe it was actually, I think it might have been the late, great Chris Mortensen's son taking over as the interim head coach. UAB did a great job, took over for Trent Dilfer, got a win, but I think Memphis is going to bounce back. They want to, get a big-time win here at home, so I've got the Tigers. How about BYU versus Iowa State? Big-time matchup in the Big 12. Who do you got here, Tim?
I wanted to take Iowa State so badly. That would have been just beautiful, and I think they can do it, but statistically speaking, BYU is just too damn good. They are. Compared to Iowa State, it's not even close.
What about you, Arthur?
BYU, dog.
I respect it. I've got the Cyclones. They're favored at home. Listen, I am a Rocco Beck fan. I like the quarterback at Iowa State and to get the W here at home again, as we saw last week in college football, even including in the Big 12 with Arizona State being Texas Tech, winning on the road in college football. It's more difficult to win the road in college football than any other sport. And we've seen that over the last few years. I think that trend continues. Give me the Cyclones. How about a matchup between Illinois and Washington? What do you got in this one, Tim?
I got Washington. I think
Wow.
that again, they're poised for a breakout game, and I think this is going to be it for them.
I thought it was going to be the breakout game last week. I liked them a lot against Michigan, so I was impressed by what the Wolverines did. Arthur, you got the Fighting Illini or the Huskies?
I got the Fighting Illini, dog. They've had a little bit of a slump, but they're going to bounce back.
Altmaier's a good quarterback. I'm going with Illinois as well. Listen, this is a tough place to go win in Washington, Pacific Northwest. So long flight for Illinois, but I do like the Fighting Illini to win this one and maintain their spot in the top 25. Next one, Big 12, Baylor taking on Cincinnati. Who do you want? Or not who do you want, but who do you got in this one, Tim?
I got Cincinnati in this one.
Okay. What about you, Arthur?
I got the Bearcats.
It's clean sweep. Bearcats as well. Let's move on. Texas against Mississippi State. This was your cover crew pick, Tim.
Yep, man. Give me Mississippi State. They had a dumb situation last week, but again, this team is, very tough at home. The damn cowbells are going to be loud, and I don't know if Arch Manning's going to be able to hear himself think. So give me the Bulldogs here.
You haven't been as high either on Texas, Arthur. Do you like Mississippi State in this one?
Mississippi State.
Okay. I'll be honest. Of all the picks, I probably went back and forth the most on this one because Mississippi State's a very tough place to go win. Arizona State lost there. My Vols nearly lost there. They're a frisky team. They still have yet to win an SEC game. I was impressed in stretches with what I saw from Arch Manning. I will go with the Longhorns just based on a talent gap. Again, winning on the road in college football is difficult, but I do think Texas has a significantly better, more NFL players certainly than Mississippi State does. By the way, quickly, I saw this while during your segment Gator City. Diana Rossini reported that Steve Sarkisian his representatives have told NFL people he would be interested in an NFL job like the Tennessee Titans. So
no wonder why they sucked. Like, come on.
He might
don't give a damn about this year. He ready to go.
Yeah. People want to hate on Lane Kiffin for jumping ship so early. Like, come on now.
Jeez, this is it. That would be something.
Good year at Texas, and now he's ready to go to the NFL. Like,
he's gonna bounce, yeah, potentially, yeah. And by the way, for the Tennessee Titans job, like I know Cam Moore, but still, gosh, like that's not exactly a glamour job to say the very least. Okay,
why not?
Well, it's a great city. Tennessee on the road against Kentucky in Lexington. My Vols trying to bounce back here. Who do you got, Tim?
If it wasn't for freaking Kentucky, I swore after last week's loss I would stop picking Tennessee. But the fact that it's Kentucky, fine. Give me Tennessee.
There you go, Tim. What about you, Arthur?
I got to go Tennessee.
Now I'm nervous because we got a clean sweep across the board here. And every time we've done that, we did this against Georgia. We did this against Bama. I don't. Now, those were like the premier games of the week for us on the Saturday Morning Tailgate. This obviously is not. This makes me a tad nervous. But listen, Mark Stoops.
Laugh my ass off if y'all lose this shit.
I may not. I may not show up.
I will never pick Tennessee again.
I may not show up on the show next week if we blow it against Kentucky, but it's on the road. That's not a crazy home field advantage. Mark Stoops is probably going to get fired by season's end. Tennessee needs to bounce back. They will. Okay, Michigan on the road against Michigan State. Listen, when I think about this rivalry, it's obviously been one-sided, but I will never, as long as I live, forget the game 10 years ago in 2015. The fumble punt, Sean McDonough on ESPN with the call of the year, goes back the other way, and Michigan State ends up making the college football playoff. Does history repeat itself, Tim?
No.
Okay.
Michigan's getting that win.
All right. What about you, Arthur?
Wolverines.
I've got as well. Clean sweep. Bryce Underwood's played solid football as of late, so I've got Michigan winning this one. Houston versus Arizona State. Listen. I'm an Arizona State fan, or not literally fan. I respect Arizona State. Kenny Dillingham's done a great job there. But Houston's been playing good football. They were in my top 25. Who do you like here, Tim?
Hey, you talk about going back and forth with Mississippi State and Texas. I was going back and forth with this one a lot. Part of my time at the Alliance of American Football, we played at the Arizona State field, which is stunning, beautiful field. And but as much as I have respect for it and think it's a great place to play, I went with Houston. I think just slightly I took the Cougars.
Okay. Arthur, home team, you think Arizona State, college football playoff team, Big 12 team, you think they were able to get a dub here at home?
I believe Arizona State is going to do it.
Okay. They got a big time upset win against Texas Tech. I like Arizona State in this one as well. If I can put up the graphic, here we go. I've got Arizona State in this one as well. Listen, the big time win against Texas Tech last week. Excuse me. They only have one conference loss. They're still in the race to make the Big 12 championship game.
Right.
They potentially need some help. So, but they're in good shape where they're at now. So I've got Arizona State winning this one. Up next, a big matchup in the SEC that kicks off, I think, in less than an hour. We got Ole Miss going on the road to Norman to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. Big one here, Tim. Who do you like here?
I'm taking Oklahoma in this one. I think just with all the rumors and the fact that Lane Kiffin is addressing the team. Now, I don't know what he's saying. I doubt he's going to say to them, listen, I am going to take the Florida job. I doubt he's saying that.
No.
But he's definitely talking to his team, trying to calm them down. I think it's going to be on their minds all the rest of the season, basically. So I'm going to go with the Sooners here.
It'd be funny if Lane Kiffin became the Magic Johnson. I mean, I'm not going to be here like that. That would be hysterical. Hey guys, I'm out after this year. That'd be wild. That'd be wild. Who do you got in this one, Arthur? Big matchup in the SEC here.
I'm going to have to take Ole Miss. In spite of all the distractions and the rumors surrounding Lane Kiffin, I believe you got to have last week's loss on your mind. I mean, again, the one about your coach possibly leaving, and especially if he's the reason why you came into this school to play for him, that's obviously going to be the forefront. But, dog, we got a football game to play. We choked last week against the Georgia Bulldogs. We got a chance to come in here and really do something special and get this shit back right. So I'm going to have to take Ole Miss. But if that pregame message does not resonate with his players, boy, it's going to be a long rest of the season for the Rebels, and we don't have that many games left.
Right. No, this is about as brutal of a back-to-back road streak as you got to go. You got to go to Georgia in between the hedges, then you got to go to Normal, Oklahoma. That's a brutal stretch. I've got the Sooners in this matchup. I think they are a legit SEC contender. I've said it all season long. I think John Mateer's healthier. He looks certainly much better, albeit South Carolina, Texas, but looked much better last week. They took care of business. I like the Sooners in this matchup to continue their push to try and get to Atlanta. Next up, another big matchup in the SEC, Texas A&M taking on LSU. You have been low on the Tigers, I think, all season long, Tim. So do you like them maybe to get home at Death Valley, or Texas A&M get the W?
I like Texas A&M to get the W. You kidding me? Especially after what Texas A&M last week. Like, come on. Like, it's LSU is a joke. Like they can't run the ball. Garrett Nussmeier, one of the preseason Heisman favorites, has fallen off a freaking cliff. I don't remember the last time a preseason Heisman favorite, or favorites, plural, have just fallen so dramatically.
Yeah.
Like this year's preseason Heisman favorites. And yeah, Brian Kelly wants to get all butthurt about how his offense can't do anything and this, that, and the other, even though they're legitimate and fair questions. Yeah, give me A&M. Come on.
There's nothing more entertaining than a Brian Kelly press conference after a loss. It is must-see TV. Even after he beat your Gators, you did a short on that a month ago, and he was just railing at me.
Yeah, because the first question was, you're struggling running the ball, and then he wants to talk about how the final run of the game for 50-something yards boost,
the yards per carry.
Yeah, boosted their yards per carry, but also they finished with 90-something yards. Otherwise, they would have finished with 40-something yards. Like, no, Brian, that last carry is bull. Like, let's take that out and look at the 40-something yards. Like, give me a break. Like, he's awful.
He can be insufferable at times. He really can be. Arthur, do you like A&M or do you like LSU here?
Texas A&M. I don't believe in LSU. They're nothing that we thought they were going to be. Nussmeier has been nothing that we thought he was going to be. I'm going to have to go with Texas A&M.
LSU has to win this game, and it's again, talk about it winning on the road in college football. Death Valley is a different monster. And keep in mind, both of LSU's losses this season at Ole Miss and then at Vanderbilt, they're in the friendly confines at home. And there's pressure. Like we know those LSU fans are like a lot of fans of the SEC, very demanding. They want you to win big-time games, big night games. I'm going to go with LSU. I don't feel great about it. I do like the fact, though, that Arkansas, which actually has a pretty good offense, did put up, I believe, 42 on Texas A&M's defense, so they can be had. If LSU can't score them more than 24-9, I don't know what to tell you. Like the offense is just broken.
Yeah, but you're talking about LSU's offense compared to Arkansas's offense. At this stage, week 9, give me Arkansas's offense versus LSU's offense.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just saying that some of that is Texas A&M's defense.
True. Oh, no.
They don't have a great defense at all.
No, I wholeheartedly agree with you. But I don't know. It's Texas A&M struggled on defense, especially last week. But I think that's going to be a point of emphasis for Coach Elko, coming into this game. So
very well could be the case. Very well could be the case. All right, let's get this one over with as fast as possible. Missouri versus Vanderbilt. Tim, who you got?
We are taking our time with this one, baby. We taking our time with this one.
Tim.
We're going anchor down, man. Vanderbilt is looking strong. Listen, this is going to be a fun matchup. I don't think Vanderbilt's going to run away with this. I don't think Missouri's going to run away with this. I like Vanderbilt in this situation. They are home. Diego loves being, at home, playing for Vanderbilt, playing in Vanderbilt. And as much as I, have respect for what Eli Drinkowitz has done at Missouri, as I talked about him being a possibility for taking over here at Florida, I like Vanderbilt. And I think Vanderbilt, even from a story perspective, is a much better story than Mizzou. They really are. So give me Vanderbilt, baby, and I think they can do it.
I know you're picking Missouri here, Arthur. I just know it.
See, here's the thing, right? Tim says he thinks the Vanderbilt Commodores can do it. I know they can. I know that Diego Pavia is going to do whatever he needs to do in this game to shut everybody like you up. Bryson. Because listen, dude, we take it 1 week at a time over here on the Vanderbilt Commodore side. We take it 1 week at a time. But I'm telling you, man, we're preparing. We're not even preparing. We are prepared for November 29th because we're going to wake up. We're going to smell the roses. And we're gonna listen to our nice little Nashville country music or whatever the hell they listen to down there. And we're gonna be like, man, this is a great day in Nashville, Tennessee. That Tennessee orange, we pissing all over it. I'm taking Diego Pavia and the Vanderbilt Commodores against the Missouri Tigers today.
I am too.
Yes, sir.
Here's what I think's gonna happen. Here's what I think is beautiful, right? Because say it. They're at home. What's that?
Say it.
Say what?
It's just 2 words. It's just 2 words. Okay, it's just 2 words.
Anchor down. You win. You know what? I will say that before I'll do a Gator chomp any day of the week. Okay, there's a lot more bad blood between our schools, as Tim well knows. Listen, I think Vanderbilt's got a good offensive advantage here at home. Missouri's defense can be had to a certain degree. Vanderbilt's got some solid running game that can control the clock, as we saw last week against LSU. If they can get the W here, tough road game at Texas. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of liking the Longhorns in that matchup next week. I'm not even joking. That's a tough place to go win. What I think is going to happen, guys, I'm dead serious because I've talked about November 29th all season long. I think both of these teams are going to enter that game with 2 losses on their resume. Vanderbilt's going to lose one more time before that game. Tennessee, the tough ones, Oklahoma, and then Florida is no joke. In the swamp. Both teams into that game 9-2. That's a playoff game. Winner gets in the college football playoff. And we got the home field advantage. We got that big orange. We got good old Rocky Top playing throughout Knoxville, Tennessee. Oh, I can't wait. But Vanderbilt, y'all gonna have your day today. All right, you're gonna get another win. Everybody's gonna be falling in love with you, like you're the darlings of college football. And Diego Pavia is gonna do a stupid Heisman pose. You knock yourselves out. Okay, it's a cute story. I hope you have your fun while it lasts, because it's coming to an end in Knoxville. Yeah, I mean, you two know it too. Come on, y'all know it.
So what happens if they just come in with the 1 loss? What if they come in with the 1 loss and they lose y'all?
Then that's tough because then it's both teams with 2 losses, but Tennessee will have beaten Vanderbilt. Again, it depends on what the rest of the SEC looks like. Because we think Ole Miss could implode. Texas is definitely going to lose one more time before the season's over. We'll see what happens to Georgia. Like, the SEC is so jumbled. I was thinking, and this quickly, and before we'll get out of here, about potential playoff teams. Like Big Ten, we assume it's going to be like Big 12 and ACC combined will get, I think, 3 teams. The 2 conference champions, and then 1 team from one of those conferences will get in. Group of 5, and then all the conference champions. I think 3 teams out of the Big Ten, Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, will be in the playoff. I think 7 SEC teams are competing for the remaining spots. Like it is wide open. The thing is, the conference is going to beat itself up. It's going to work itself out. Like I said, Tennessee controls their own destiny, so I feel good about it. All right, that is all the time we have for today for the Saturday Morning Tailgate podcast. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Be sure to check us out next week at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific time, live here on the Grid Network's YouTube channel and Twitter account. Subscribe to all of our content creators on here. They all do a great job, and we will see you guys next week here on the Saturday Morning Tailgate. Have a great weekend. Enjoy all the college football from daylight till dark. See y'all next time. God bless y'all. Peace out.
God bless.